Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about freeze-dried food. Just something that I've been kind of slowly adding and replacing foods with my bug-out bag and adding to my food storage. So there's good things about them and bad things about them. If you don't know, freeze-dried food is a little bit different from dehydrated food. Dehydrated food has the water, slowly sucked out of it, and it tends to hold its texture a little more. Dehydrated food is kind of like astronaut food. It's like more chalky, but it lasts a lot longer than dehydrated food, and that's a benefit. So the reason that I've started kind of replacing some of my food in my bags with it for two main reasons. One, it lasts forever, especially like these Mountain House ones. See, if you see that on there, it says best by April 2048. So by the time I'm my mom's age, I'll have to replace these, unfortunately. I know it sucks that they don't last 6,000 years or whatever, but I think that's pretty good. And then also right here, the net weight is under 4 ounces for 2 servings of food. And I'll tell you, like, I've eaten these before camping, and I was like, oh, 2 servings, like, I'm usually a pretty heavy eater, so that shouldn't be too bad. I'll manage it by myself. I had a hard time eating that, the Mountain House breakfast skillet on my own. It took 2 people for sure, and it really fills you up. So yeah, you get quite a bit of food for very little weight. And, it's pretty calorie rich too. Let's see, you can see the nutrition facts here. And keep in mind, this is 2 servings in this bag. On the nutrition facts, it's just 1 serving. So this whole bag is almost 500 calories. That is real good. And then this one, if it'll focus, this one is 500 calories. And this is the granola with berries. And this one does weigh 4 ounces. So one thing that kind of turns people off about them is like they've had like astronaut food or whatever when they were a kid. They're like, that's pretty disgusting. And I'll agree with you on that. If you don't prepare freeze-dried food the right way, it's kind of gross. But with most of these, you're going to be adding water. With a turkey dinner, you just add hot water. And with a granola, you just add like cold or room temperature water. And you just put it in there and let it sit for a bit. And then it kind of regains its texture to almost its original form, not quite like it. Like, I've had the breakfast skillet, and there's dehydrated eggs in there. When you pour that water in and let it sit, it almost tastes like, how a scrambled egg would taste. It has the right flavor, it just doesn't quite have the right texture, but it doesn't stay chalky like you imagine if you've had just, like, dehydrated food without water, or freeze-dried food without water. So yeah, they're a pretty good thing to have. And then there's lots of different variants, lots of different companies make them. There's some like this that are more of just like the snack kind. And these you wouldn't pour water in or anything, you just kind of eat them, and they're like a crunchy, like dehydrated fruit. And that's going to help you get like your vitamins and minerals and stuff that you need from fruit. These ones, because it's not like a survival brand, they don't last quite as long, but they still last quite a long time. And that's more of like something I would put in my long-term food storage and in my bug-out bag, because it's not like optimized for like being lightweight and stuff like this Mountain House one is. These are specifically designed to be like a backpacking type food, which makes them good to go in bug-out bags. Now, why wouldn't I want to replace all my food with these in my bug-out bags is because for one, they do take a little bit of preparation, so that's the main drawback from them. You have to, get water, and especially with a turkey dinner, you gotta heat up your water, which I carry a little stove in my bag, so it's not a big deal, but it takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes to get water heated up, and then you gotta let it sit for a few minutes in the bag. Which also with these, you can just cook them right in the bags. You don't have to you don't have to pour them out into like a bowl and then cook it in the bowl. You can just heat up water and whatever and then pour them in, so it kind of saves from the cleanup. which is really nice. Um, but yeah, they do take a little bit of time to prepare. Not so much time, but enough to where you don't want to stop for lunch or whatever for 30 minutes to get everything set up and then gather water and then start cooking your food. This is be more something that you want either for breakfast or dinner whenever you're kind of like winding down. You're either setting up camp or breaking camp. I think it'd be good for that kind of thing. And then stuff you can eat on the go would be more of like what you want for lunch and breakfast, like most of the time. Something like, you can just kind of eat peanut butter out of a jar, or there's like those calorie bar things, like meal bars, granola bars, that kind of thing. That'd be more of like your lunch food that you would keep in your bag. And then of course there's going to be stuff that you just catch and cook and forage or whatever and do that naturally. And which another thing, if you're planning on doing that kind of stuff, you might think like, why would I carry food in my bag if I'm just going to be hunting and fishing or whatever? Well, I think if that's your train of thought, you probably haven't really been out and tested your skills that much. Because sometimes of the year it might be possible to just totally survive off like the hunter-gatherer lifestyle, but there's going to be times when you're just going to have a very unsuccessful day of hunting and fishing, and it's going to be winter and there's not going to be a lot to gather, and you're just really going to need some food, and then you can have it in there for that kind of occasion. Or sometimes you might be on the run, you might not have time to be hunting and fishing and foraging. You might just be booking it, and then in that case you can even eat. You don't even have to prepare these. You can still eat them like dry. They're just not going to be as good. That's the main points about them. I guess another thing to consider, if you're in a place where it's really arid and there's not a lot of water sources, I don't know, like these might not quite be the right choice, because you're going to be wasting a little bit of water, especially with the warm ones, because you're going to be boiling water, and that might not be the right choice for you. But at least in my area, you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a creek or something, so it's not an issue. Water's pretty easy to collect for me as long as I can filter it. No worries as far as that goes. But I guess that about wraps it up. Hope you found this informative. Maybe consider changing out some of the food you got in your bug out bags or whatever. But yeah, that's about it. Have a good day.